And welcome back. The gun debate in America has not been put on hold since the COVID outbreak. If anything, it's even gotten more heated. That is, we see people with long guns protesting stay-at-home orders in Michigan, North Carolina, and other states. They're proudly displaying weapons that are meant, frankly, for a battlefield, simply because they can, because it's their legal right in those so-called open carry states. Now, I'm not here to say that we want to take anyone's guns away. It's not even a debate, frankly, on the table, but we also don't want a lunatic fringe to dictate the debate. And for more, I'm joined now by RFL's executive producer, Larry Epstein.
Thanks, Rich. Let's start with the whole open carry thing. It's hard to believe that that's even legal here in America, but it is. The Gifford Center, they say that 44 states allow it, and that also includes long guns like you see these guys carrying, AR-15s, assault weapons, etc. And research from the Gifford Center, it shows that states with more liberal open carry laws, they have higher violent crime rates, including gun homicides. Duh. It's even legal to carry something like a bazooka. Like, check out these guys. These pictures were shot by a photojournalist for a Charlotte newspaper. Those guys were protesting, stopped into Subway, grab a bite to eat with their bazookas, their sniper rifles, etc. It's incredible. Perfectly legal. Rich and I think I speak for Rich when I say that open carry, stupidest idea I've ever heard. But how do the American people feel? They kind of agree. Brady Center poll. 50% of voters say they feel less safe due to open carry. Nearly a third, much less safe. More polls. A slew of them came out late last year. There was a bunch of mass shootings, and the American people were more in support of gun control than I've ever seen it. Nearly 70% supported a ban on assault weapons. Now, a Quinnipiac poll, 97% support background checks for all gun purchases. I can't think of a single other issue where nearly everybody would agree with it, but for universal background checks, there you have it. And unfortunately, though, the bad news, good news, bad news, the pandemic has been good for the gun business. People bought nearly 2 million firearms just last month, and that's up 70% from the prior year. 2 million firearms. The NRA, of course, not letting a crisis go to waste. It's lobbied to keep gun stores open successfully in 30 cases. 30 states, gun stores are considered essential, open for business. NRA also has sued in places that have not allowed the gun stores to open lawsuits right now in New York State, Los Angeles County, amongst others. So we'll see how those turn out. They might win, and those gun stores might also be opened up. The NRA is also ginning up the fear, hoping people will run out and stock up. Look at this web ad. More than 1 million people so far have watched this thing.
You might be wondering why I'm holding this. I know from history how quickly society breaks down during a crisis, and we've never faced anything like this before. And never is the Second Amendment more important than during public unrest. It's no surprise why sales of guns and ammunition have skyrocketed.
Jesus Christ.
Unbelievable, right?
Almost like egging on to have a riot here. Now, I've seen other things that have happened. And first of all, let's dispense with this canard here that is driving a lot of this, that, hey, they're gonna come take your guns away. I know you have a clip, Charlie Daniels speaking what he says for a lot of folks who feel that this is an opportunity for the Second Amendment to go out the window.
Roll it.
I'd fight to my last breath to defend my home and my family. And by the looks of the lines at the gun stores lately, it looks like an awful lot of other people feel the same way, that they want to defend themselves, which is a constitutional right that we're guaranteed in the Second Amendment. But left up to some politicians, all you'd have to defend your home with would be a stick and some rocks, and if you're lucky, a slingshot, because they want your guns.
He's clearly talking about the fringe minority on the left who's even talking about taking guns away. That is not even
There's
part.
not one lawmaker right now on Capitol Hill who's supporting the idea of people coming for anyone's guns. And even though the polling suggests, as you just showed, 7 in 10 don't want assault weapons, and almost 100% of the American public believes we should have a background check. But Larry, this is playing out in other ways. We've talked about it on this show. We showed the scary images in Michigan, where in the State House, people with assault weapons, and you have law enforcement there, none of these folks that have masks on, they're screaming at the cops, and they literally have, better arms here than you'd argue that we'll even see our guys have in the middle of a battlefield, let alone our police. I've also seen scenes play out in North Carolina. I saw militias in Texas. It's a miracle, thank God, that this hasn't led to some kind of a firefight here. But I'm telling you, I don't want to be right, but I just have a feeling it's a matter of when, not if.
I know, it's incredible. And what still, I said it in the intro, what's even more striking is it's perfectly legal. Imagine going to a state house with an assault weapon and it's perfectly legal. They're outgunning the police, and it's just unbelievable, legal in America.
And what I didn't know until I saw that piece was this isn't some organic thing that people had a fear, oh God, who knows where this can go, I'm gonna get a gun. Not only the ads have been ginning up, the NRA, as you said, have been using it, even though they're on the verge of bankruptcy, to try and gin up gun sales, 2 million, as you said, since the pandemic struck. But again, let's just remind the audience, Larry, this is a vocal minority. This is not the majority of Americans who feel this way. Less than 1 in 3 feel that what these folks are doing is safe, let alone not really dangerous.
Right. Every poll we've seen, and we've showed them over and over again over the course of several months, show that the American public wants better gun control. They do not want assault weapons on the street. They want background checks and all the things that I think almost everyone would agree just makes common sense.
Larry, great job. Thank you very much. When we come back, everybody, COVID. It's created a huge population of people that nobody's talking about. I'm talking about the survivors. They beat COVID, but now they're on a long road to recovery. A doctor who's helping people rehab. He'll join us after the break to discuss what these folks are facing and where they can go for help.